Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and I thought we could talk about that Thor box office. Well, as many of you know, Thor actually conquered the box office for a second weekend. But there are some things to be concerned about from Marvel Studios. The movie had a pretty big drop. This has caused many people to start asking some questions about the future of Marvel movies as well as other box office standards. But I think I know what's going on here, and it's from a couple of fronts. So let's break down the report on Thor and talk a little bit about what's happening. In case you didn't know, Thor actually was again number one at the box office this weekend and brought in another $49 million. This brings its international box office close to about $450 million. So Marvel is fastly approaching getting out of the red ink for the film. The movie cost about $250 to make, and typically you want to see the box office results be double that number. Now, there's always a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff we don't get to see, so we never know exactly how profitable a movie is, but this is considered an industry minimum. But this is considered really the baseline for profitability. Now, if you've noticed, quite a few Marvel movies in Phase 4 have dropped this much in its second week. Not just Thor Love and Thunder, but Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as well as Black Widow and Eternals all had similar numbers. And this has begged a lot of questions about what's going on with Marvel. Now, let's be clear, I don't think Phase 4 has fully connected with fans in the same way the early films did, and this is something Marvel has to fix. But I do believe there's something else going on here. Marvel movies typically have a very strong opening weekend. This sets the bar pretty high for most of these problems, but a lot of times those second weekend viewers fall into a couple of categories. First and foremost, there are those repeat viewers that Marvel absolutely has to have. But then there's a lot of people that join a film the second weekend because they don't want to fight the crowds. Now, quite honestly, I think the pandemic is affecting this demographic. Many people have spent about 2 years at home watching content, and the content they're getting is pretty high quality. Not everybody is me and you. We're movie files. We rush out to the theater every time something new and cool comes out. But that's not most of the population. I actually think many of these movies are being impacted by a segment of the population that's simply not going out for the second weekend viewings because they have plenty of content on their own. This leaves most of the additional dollars being repeat viewers, and quite honestly, this might be why Marvel is suffering a little bit. Now, we're not going to give Thor Love and Thunder a pass. There's quite a few problems with that movie. And I probably won't be headed back to the theater to see it again. But I do think the larger portion of this is from this changing demographic and how movies are being released, especially considering how tight those release to streaming windows are for many fans. If you just look at the sheer dollars, one night at the theater for 4 people could cost as much as 8 months of Disney+. That's incredible. So there are a lot of people that are choosing just to save their money, be a little patient, and wait and stay at home. Now, how this impacts Marvel and Disney going down the road, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Disney Plus continues to grow and brings in Disney proper a mountain of cash and residual income, so that might be a trade-off from a business perspective that they're totally willing to make. Now, we're going to follow Thor all the way to the end to see how it does in its final days. I actually expect this movie to get around $750 million before it finally closes out, but we'll have to wait and see. But until we know more, what do you guys think? Do you think Thor Love and Thunder had a 68% drop-off due to changing demographics at the theater? Or do you think this is just flat out a response to the quality of the film and the fact that some people really didn't like it? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not going to get any updates. Peace.